Yes,
No, it doesn't matter. All right. I guess it doesn't matter. Can't see us dancing. Now they can see us dancing.
Yeah, you missed my bad dancing.
It doesn't. All right. Bon Jovi. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to another pre-live dance party. What's going on, Internet?
Woo!
We'll know in about 30 seconds. How are you doing, Lee and Lynz?
Hey, did you know? I actually saw. Speaking of the Bon Jovi thing, I saw. We saw Bon Jovi live in concert a couple years ago.
Wow!
And we didn't understand the ramifications of getting the seats behind the stage, right? And the ramifications are great for wife, bad for me. It both involves looking at John Bon Jovi's butt for 2.5 hours. And not my thing, but if you're into it, God love you. So that's how we're introducing this countdown or road to BowtieUP Live or whatever the hell we're calling this thing today with John Bon Jovi's butt. And since things have got to get better from there, let's go ahead and introduce our guest today, Miss Lyndsey Johnson. How are you, my friend?
I am good, and I am fine with following John Bon Jovi's butt. That's fine.
Good. We've got that. And then bringing up the rear, so to speak, Alex McDowell. What's going on, my friend?
Yeah, I'll take the ass end of things. No problem. How's it going, friends? It is Alex McDowell back again for yet another Road to BowtieUP Live. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Alex McDowell, and I'm the owner of A3 Innovation and partner at Real Impact Solutions, where we help businesses improve their day-to-day operations, streamline them, make them more efficiently, and done for you with robots.
And he does a hell of a job of running his show, too. So let's give him props for that.
Only as well as doing it with Julie.
All right. And Lyndsey, for those of us in the audience who don't know you, can you tell us what you do, a little bit about your background, just whatever you like for the next 2 minutes while I try to figure out what's going on with my other laptop.
Okay, sure. So for those of you who don't know me, I am the founder here at Growthvine, and I'm going to tell you all about that name in a minute. And basically, I help people who are the online knowledge brokers. So they're coaches, they are mentors, they're trainers. Basically, get their shizzle together and go through funnels and systems and actually make it so that you're not living in entrepreneurial poverty, treading the wheels like a hamster and not getting any benefit, and that you're able to become that future 7-figure CEO that you want to actually be. The trick part being, of course, that most of my clients also like philanthropy. So pretty much when you're on that route, then you start to give back to the community as well. So I basically am that little geek that lives behind a screen. We signed, and I have signed NDAs for some of the biggest names in the industry. I did get called a data angel the other day, actually, Lee. That was a new term that somebody called me, one of my clients. So I was like, wow. Oh, check that. I can't quite decide whether I like that one or Funnel Queen, but I'll take these titles. We'll try them on for size and see how they go. I think it's because I say things like data is sexy and people kind of go, ooh.
How tawdry.
Talk data, do me.
Oh, yeah.
Right on. Well, you were definitely in the right place because we're all, we're all obsessed about, becoming better with our businesses, with ourselves, in making ourselves better in these crazy times. And, as we've been hearing from lots of guests who are understanding the ramification of what's going on right now, in terms of, personal development, in terms of business development, in terms of opportunities, and obviously a lot of fear and challenges too, because we don't want to make light of the epidemic. And I checked the numbers this morning and they're absolutely staggering. But we have to trudge on. And so, we're finding creative ways to do that. And that's why I love, talking to people like you who bring that creativity to the table.
Oh, yeah. And I am all about the creativity. I mean, I think what's going on at the moment, I keep terming it as the business apocalypse. and kind of keep making really bad Game of Thrones puns about the fact that we've always known as entrepreneurs that winter is coming. Business has cycles. For those who've never been through a winter, they're kind of like going, right now. And the reality is that they should be embracing it. You know, as I said to all my list the other day, since when have entrepreneurs run scared? Everyone is running scared. Everyone is, I don't know about in your country, but here in the UK, loads of entrepreneurs have been looking at, you know, can I get handouts for being an employee of my business? Can I get handouts for being self-employed? And, you know, I've got so many emails and so many kind of really tearful messages from people who sat and watched all the stuff that's been happening and just kept going, but because of the loopholes, it doesn't qualify me. And they were just, everybody was sitting there. And Friday was quite a dark day. And I was just like, right, literally, I wrote a call to arms. I actually put that in my copy as a call to arms. I put some really good gifts in there. You'd have been proud. And literally, I was just saying to everybody, look, since when have any of us ever expected somebody to come and save us? No one came into business to expect somebody else to come charging in on a white knight and save us. It's up to us. We can do it. We've always been the people that kind of held it together. We've just got to kind of get our shizzle on a little bit and look at, okay, what are we going to do? Let's get our heads back in the game, take them out of our backsides, back in the game. What are we going to do to fix this situation? And that's the thing, you know, you've got to get your head back on, get your entrepreneur head back on, folks. Start thinking about what you're going to do to move forwards. What do you think, Lee?
Absolutely. Yeah, there's really no time to sit around and think about what could go wrong.
Now, one thing that hasn't gone wrong yet, and Lee, I'll let you continue in a minute, but we have to stop the show to say hello, man. We have Raul jumping in and saying hello to everybody. So thank you so much for joining us, Raul, and hope you're having a great day today and you're staying healthy during this pandemic. Now, back to your regularly scheduled Lee Rowley.
Already in progress. You make an excellent point. What was I saying again? You know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to forget what I'm saying, and then this is all going to go tits up. So let's make an absolutely fantastic point is that we wouldn't be entrepreneurs if we didn't have what it takes to get through this and to come out stronger on the other end. You know, it's just there are some people who aren't wired that way, who aren't wired to take those kind of risks. I get that. You know, but those of us who are already in that arena, who have that in our blood, you know, why the hell can't we get through this? We made it this far. We had 100% success rate. It may not have always gone smoothly. In fact, more often than not, smooth is not part of the equation. But we've gotten through it. So what are we worried about? Yeah, we're creating connections, and let's just get through this.
Precisely. I read a book years ago that put it so perfectly that I talk about this a lot, and you'll see a lot of zombie jokes in a lot of the stuff I do, which is that it's called Polar Bear Pirates. If you ever want a book with a funny title, go read that. And literally, it's about the fact that there are so many people out there who are asleep. They are just kind of like snoozing their way through life, being somebody's employee, kind of like, oh yeah, I'm doing my stuff, I'm getting paid. And I think when you become an entrepreneur, it's as if somebody kind of just wakes you up, be it kind of that jolt, be it life happens and somebody hits you with a brick or something. Right. And I think when you become an entrepreneur, you have to kind of dive off the top of the cliff and just be willing to go, I'm going to build those wings on the way down. And I'm fairly confident I'm not going to crash into the ground. But if I do, it's okay, because it's going to look like something off Cartoon Network. And I'm just going to repeat it until I stop hitting the ground and face planting it. And to me, that's what business is like.
That's absolutely it.
The Wile E. Coyote approach to business. That's what they like.
I like it. I'm stealing that copy later.
And I actually told my wife right when I started this thing that we were just going to jump off of cliffs and build wings on the way down. Because it's like worst case scenario, you hit the ground, you get right back up, you dive off the next cliff, and you try to build wings, and eventually you're going to fly. But we do have to stop the show and say hello to a couple of our other friends who have joined us in the audience here today. Thank you so much to, as my list struggles to pull up and load all of the comments. So we have Filler here. Hello to Tamsin Henderson joining us, saying, hey, how's it going? Hope you're staying healthy. Steffi Corti joining us. True, the world owes us nothing but a good time. Love life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Mrs. Carla Rowley, you are phenomenal. Thank you for sharing Lee with us for this hour of the day. And then Raul jumping in with another comment. Nice to see you back in the posts. Keep it up throughout the show. That's all from my side.
Right on. So Lyndsey, we talked earlier, and one of the things that you mentioned is that you might be able to pinpoint some ways that people can get back into the game quick and fix quickly, so that they don't crash and burn. As everything changes here with the, as I said, the COVID era.
Yeah. So everybody is kind of like, say, running around like headless chickens, freaking out at the moment, and that's pretty much how my network has been and my audience. And what I've been saying to everybody is the same thing. It doesn't matter right now if the offer that you are putting out there is congruent and something you want to be selling long term, but just get yourself out there and start making an offer that you know is going to work. And if you're thinking, oh shit, I don't know if it'll work, then start looking at just testing offers out, be firing an offer out virtually every other day, if that's what it takes for you to get it so that you've got that cash flow, so your brain goes out of panic mode, right, and you can start to breathe and see things clearly. But you've got to start at least making some form of offers, even if it's a case of you haven't got a sales page, you haven't got any of that technical beautifulness that I kind of geek out about. If you haven't got that, that's cool too. Just start making some form of offer. And if people react to it, they engage with it, then keep going down those lines. You've got to be doing something, because if you sit and stagnate and you sit and let your kind of chimp brain take over, where you're kind of running around, like I say, being this headless chicken, panicking about what's going to pay next month's rent, how am I going to do this? Mm-hmm. All that's going to happen is you're going to keep feeding that brain. It is not going to help you any way, shape or form. And ultimately, you're going to end up in this panic situation where you just can't break yourself out of it. So to snap back out of it straight away, I challenge you, all you guys that Alex just kind of listed off there, go and make an offer in the next 24 hours. See what happens. I mean, we're doing like cash booster challenges and things at the moment with my audience, and I've got loads of that launching just to get people so they're out trying to make offers, build that cash relationship. And if you are one of those people, and I'm huge on this, Lee's heard me rant about this quite a lot. It's my little soapbox moment. If you're one of these people that is kind of more living towards entrepreneurial poverty, where you're not really making enough money, if you kind of have a month's bank and that's it sitting in your account right now, if that is you and you are really kind of struggling, then first thing you need to do is go and trim the sails. I talk about business a lot about sales, and a lot about, I think of business a bit like the Titanic. You're always trying to bail it out and keep it moving forwards. And the reality is that you can't build a business if you've got people and you are down in the kind of the coal pit, shoveling the coal into the engine, and you're not out there looking for the icebergs. So in terms of this metaphorical ship, get into your business, get into your bank account, yet that scary thing that nobody wants to open, click it, open it, and look at what the hell is going out of there. Because now is your chance, before you start paying these things again, to start looking first of all at what it is. Is there a way that you can cut things down? Be that you don't need that many users on this software, be it that you're not using this software, get rid of it. Look at things like that. If you've never been through a winter, Game of Thrones reference, if you've never been through winter in your business, you need to look at ways that you can cut everything down, cut the fat, and just find ways that you can function so that your brain stops, like I say, this panic, and it allows you to go back to normal business routine. So they are 2 quick fixes that you can do straight away. I mean, Lee, is that something that you guys have ever done? Alex, have you ever had to go through that and cut everything back?
That's actually a lot of what I do for my clients, is optimizing expenses with technology. It's one of the key parts to making sure that you're staying lean and staying effective while you grow your business. Because a trap that a lot of us fall into is we want the second level HubSpot membership. We want the G Suite Enterprise membership so that we can record all of our Google Voice meetings. We want all of these fancy things, and we're willing to take them on, and we get excited, right? That's the one thing that unites us as entrepreneurs, is that passion, that energy. And so we get energetic, we get excited, we buy too much, we say yes to too much, we get our monthly reoccurring expenses way too high, and then we can't manage it. We're trying to scale. So I do that for all of my clients, optimizing their, what they've got software going wise. A couple of things that I see a lot of that I think would be very beneficial to look at are where you're hosting your website, where you have it registered. So number one worst offender in technology is GoDaddy. I hate them. They suck.
Yes.
Always, like, they're horrible. There was a client, and I'm obviously not going to name any names, but who was spending around $3,000 a year on GoDaddy between 85 domains, 3 different mail subscriptions, and privacy protection on half the domains, and all this other stuff. So about $3,000 reoccurring per year. Taking them to Google domains, it was around $300 a year.
Yeah,
$2,700, literally 10 times the expense. Just from changing that one thing, like looking at these holistic expenses, lay it all out, lay it out for a year, lay it for a rolling 365 days. Look at everything in your business right now. Take the time to monetize it, to optimize it, and to make it better, and free up that expense and hire somebody in part-time sales with it. You know, like, do something beneficial with your money, make your money work for you. You do not need all of these softwares.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm one of them. I'm kind of a recovering AppSumo's tart, because I will go on there and buy lifetime deals for my favorite software, because I just hate paying for anything monthly. I know that so many, I own a SaaS company as well, and I've got to be really careful, because I know that so many of my clients might kind of freak out. But I try and avoid any form of monthly recurring, because I hate it. And a top tip for anybody watching: go through your bank, go through PayPal. That's the other one people always forget. Make a spreadsheet of what it is, the date it goes out, and how much you pay, and total it up. And then kind of let your jaw hit the floor, kind of roll it back up. And then what I want you to do is set an alarm on your phone to go look at it in 90 days after you've canceled the stuff that you don't need. I make a point, because we all end up with business bloat, and we all end up with this kind of like excess baggage. It's a bit like kind of the post-Christmas hangover type thing. We all end up with it. And the best thing you can do is make a note to go back every 90 days and just look at, actually, is anything else coming out of this bank? Is there anything coming out of PayPal that I shouldn't be? And go through and actively look at, do I need even that many users? Do I, is this tech doing something different? I mean, I literally just had this conversation an hour ago with somebody, and I said to him, look, we switched to one bit of software. And with that piece of software, we ditched 14 tools. Okay, 14 tools, 14 lots of revenue, because we've got one. And actually, I looked at
list out all your softwares. It's not just about what's coming out of your bank. It's about listing what you're using for your business to see where you're at if your needs have changed. Something you needed a year ago, you might not need now.
Precisely. And, unless you are, recovering from AppSumo and you've got lifetime deals, the chances are you're paying for it somewhere. And it's looking at that, even if it's annual. Don't be fooled by those annual things. That is a really quick way that you can fix some and free up some cash in your business. Like I say, to get rid of the panic brain. And, there's a million ways. We don't all need Google Enterprise. We really don't.
I do.
There's a million things we could do.
But that's because I'm a Google partner, Google Cloud partner. Shout out to Google. You guys are awesome. They're doing a bunch of things right now too. I mentioned Google Enterprise because they just made Google Meet, Google Hangouts. As we're hosting our meetings, you have enterprise level software, including recording meetings and like 100+ seat meetings that are free right now. So all those who are struggling with connecting with your team and don't want to pay for the Zoom, Google Meet is the way to go. Plug for Google. Now we're back to your regularly scheduled interruption.
Okay. I love Google. I should say this. I do love G Suite. Although leading us perfectly into our salty memes there, Lee. That was my issue with. I triggered somebody earlier, Alex. Like, I need to create a meme, and I was thinking about this, Lee, after you sent me one. I'm thinking I might just go and like draw a little gun on my fingers and do a little picture like you do, because I keep triggering people, and it's great. I love it. And I triggered somebody earlier because one of my funnels went down the other day. And about a week, 2 weeks back, when loads of people started piling online who aren't normally here, how dare they come in our space and abuse our kind of bandwidth and make things crash.
Right.
Well, one of my funnels, we had an issue with G Suite. It kept flickering in and out. So links sometimes weren't working, and then 2 minutes later they were. And I had an issue with it, and it really triggered somebody. And they sent me an email today, and I was just like, yeah, welcome to online. Sometimes things go down. That is life. There is like billions more people on the internet. It's cool. But, Alex, I don't know if Lee told you, I reached out to Lee and I was like, oh, I need to come up with like a salty meme that I can just send people, because I feel like I need to send a picture and just go, ka-ching.
It just so happens that I have one, and that I use it. It's really kind of a bridge burner, but here it is. Like, if you really just piss me off, then this is what you're gonna get. But it's
classically.
It really is. It just leaves very little to the imagination, and I've only used it a few times, but it's generally a fire starter, because invariably I'll just let them go on for another 14 messages about how unprofessional I am, and how that nobody on their right mind would ever take a picture of themselves flipping somebody off, and how dare you do that, and I get 60% returns on cold traffic all day long, and I own your whole family, and it just it's you let them spin out and fizzle, and then you block them. It's just lovely to just watch them waste their time and just piss themselves into a puddle. So that's one of my favorites. Use it sparingly, but when you just really just gotta piss somebody off, that's a great way to go.
It's right up there with blowing somebody a kiss while you're driving. It makes homophobic males really uncomfortable. Someone like myself.
I need to live in your world a little bit more. I think I'm just too understated. But can I just say something while we're just on that? Because I know there's going to be people out there who are watching this who are like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to get more visible. And this was a conversation I had the other day. We're having virtual drinks. I call them Friday beers. Turns out I was the only person having a beer. I'm not sure why.
Why do you have to save it for Friday?
Well, because I try and do it through the rest of the week, but some people don't like it. Some people think that's a Friday thing.
You call me, Lyndsey. I will be there. I promise you.
I will call you. That's it. We're sorted. Right. So I was having this discussion, and basically this lady was saying to me about visibility, and she started getting more visible, and she was finding people were really kind of pushing back at her, and she was getting a lot of kind of, how do you cope with it? How do you put up with it? And honestly, the best thing I said to her was, A, go read Jay Bayer's Hug Your Haters, because that will sort your head out. And number two, it's not you. It really isn't. I remember donkeys years ago, I had a really bad day, and I cried when somebody pulled me up for missing a full stop out of a lean magnet. And I went, oh. And I was having a really, when you're having one of those emotional days where you really could do with blowing kisses at like homophobic guys and stuff.
Every day.
Yeah. So I was having one of those, and the big mindset shift for me was just realizing that it's not personal. Okay. When people are getting that irate at you, and when you feel a need to kind of like flip them off and send them something like that, which I love, I'm going to have to steal that, Lee. Okay. It is them being triggered. It is not you. So if you are wanting to build your business right now, you are thinking, oh my gosh, I've got a funnel. It looks half decent, and it's maybe kind of a half-baked thing, or you're thinking it's a bit ugly. Don't even worry about it. Put it out there. And if people react to it and people are triggered, it is not you. Okay. I cannot stress this enough. It's not you. It is them. And the reason why I say that is because I see people, especially the last couple of weeks, who are afraid to put funnels out there. They're afraid to let people test their systems because they don't want people having a meltdown at them. They're so like, well, right. It's not you. We need to get rid of these people. I send stuff deliberately to my list to trigger people. Oh, wow. And I do it sometimes. People that need to go just need to go.
And on that note too, like with haters, that's the number one direction that you are doing something good.
Yeah.
If you have people who have differing opinions and are feeling so strongly about something that you put out, something you created, something that you did, that they feel to take their repressed anger out on you one day, good job. You're doing something right. You're doing something meaningful.
Absolutely.
Keep going.
Well, moreover, they're not doing something meaningful. I mean, when it really comes down to it, if somebody has a problem with CopyBrand you or a workshop I put on, or whatever, go build your own damn course. I mean, what?
There's a red X
bother
at the top
me.
of your page.
Beat it. Yeah.
Can I just say? I swiped, at the end of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and you have is it Dr. Gore, and it goes, not a doctor.
Yeah, I know.
And I send that to people as part of their onboarding sometimes, who I think may be a little bit heavy. And if you've had that from me, that's why you've got it, by the way. Because sometimes people come into your courses or your programs or your offer because they think you're going to be the doctor, or you're going to be like the the Harry Potter that's going to fix their life, you're
That's
not.
me.
Yeah.
I mentioned that because that's tech guys. That's all it is. Copywriters, these guys, they teach you how to do incredible things. They will write great for you and teach you how to be a brand, as I point the right way now. Maybe like that. I don't know. I'll get my pointing some other time. I've got Lee down and I've got my down. But
down.
Yeah.
Going down. Okay, well, while we sort out our ups and downs, please enjoy this brief clip of a journey through Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia. Wasn't that nice?
That was lovely.
I thought it was lovely. I felt like I was really there.
Peaceful. I bet that would be a boring trip. We've talked about doing like the Trans-Siberian thing, and it's like just a whole lot of nothing. I mean,
not the orchestra?
I don't think you get the orchestra with it. I don't think you get the band playing. Maybe in the train. There might be an orchestra in the train car, in the dinner train car. I've never done that.
Yeah, as long as they follow you along as you're kind of enjoying it, and there's a kind of like slow-mo bits and things, that'd be cool.
That would be
like
classic.
Mariachi band.
Not for 14 days, but you know.
Oh, it'd be
no, I wouldn't want
a
a band in my bedroom.
Good Lord, that'd be like getting stuck inside because there's some crazy virus out there that's out to kill everybody. That'd be madness.
Yeah, you guys won't have seen it.
Right.
They put Contagion on here in the UK, and there was like hundreds of complaints that how dare our BBC play I think it was a BBC play Contagion. I was like, oh my gosh, that's cool.
They're like, it's a documentary now, guys. Come on.
Come on, this is real programming here, guys. But you know, I've been making lots of jokes about, you know, people waking up, and I talk a lot about zombies, and that, you know, I genuinely believe that it's quite possible that we could have that one day. And in reality, you know, I was joking on with Lee earlier. I actually have been going because it's, you know, potentially our apocalypse, because we've got all this stuff going on that's crazy, and somebody really needs to finish that game of Jumanji. But for me, I've actually been going on a treadmill and doing the zombie 5K run. And I said this to somebody the other day, and they're like, can you do that at night? And I was like, it's actually quite scary with the sound effects. And it got me thinking, do not do it at night because it sounds real. Oh my God.
5K is a lot, and zombies are terrifying.
It is the best game thing ever. It's hilarious. It actually makes you want to run. But, you know, I talk a lot about entrepreneurs and people being awake and people being asleep as zombies. And I think it's really important that you look at where you're at in your business and look at, have you, before this even happened, before this whole virus, have you been sleepwalking through your business, and have you not been in touch with it? Have you kind of let things go? Do you need a kind of reality check where you're kind of looking at things and going, actually, I need to fix this and not everything else? Because, I mean, Alex, you'll be the same. Sure, you're like me, a complete tech geek. And when you're looking at things, there's always a million things that you want to fix, but actually there's usually only one thing you need to. And I think the same thing relates to business. I actually created something the other day. I don't know if I shared it with you, Lee. And it's called the 20% Game Changer Plan. And the entire reason I created it was because people were asking me how I stay so focused, considering I am one of those creatives. I do like my bright colors. How do you laser in? And literally, I have this little plan that I run through every single day when I look at my tasks. And it is it going to make me money? Is it going to build my audience? Does it feel good? Will it drain me? Lots of questions like that, so that you can laser focus in on just the things that you want to be working on. And I've got the same types of questions for if you need to fix something. So if you guys who are watching feel like you need to fix something and you're not quite sure what it is that's broken, or you think you do, or you think you might know a little bit, but you're not 100%, hit me up in the messages, and I will sort out, and I'll send you over some questions, and we can see what you guys need to fix, because there's always something. And I think people, in reality, we talk a lot about at the moment this virus, but really, there's been shit going on for a while. There's been problems with a lot of people's businesses for a while. They just didn't want to own up until it became a case of we can talk about shit hitting the fan because we've got this, you know, global pandemic. Right.
Well, you don't think about going to get food until you're hungry. And that's the problem that a lot of business owners had, is they were just content with, you know, getting the food when they needed it and not really preparing for the winter that was coming, because you got to have a stockpile. Now in the pipeline, and you really have to get clear on your messaging, and you can't just use the same content that's getting 0 likes, 0 interaction, and 0 engagement, and pretend like you have a social media strategy, right? Like, you really got to think and be real with the current state of events.
Right.
I think it's like really been a rude awakening for a lot of businesses, and especially those who, you know, they had these things figured out, they put all this time, effort, and energy in it, and then the economy for them dries up. You know, you're selling to the medical industry, and you're selling to the cosmetic medical industry, or you're selling to the dental industry, and now all of a sudden you can't do that anymore. So how do you even, you know, begin to cope with that? Because getting real with your business is one thing, but what about those who already have all of these skills and had all of that time invested and now just don't have a market to sell to? What do they do?
Yeah, I mean, there is so much that you can do. Like I say, I've got a SaaS company as well, and you know, my aunt rang me the other day, and you know, she was nattering away, and she went, "I'm sure you guys will be fine." And I was like, "Actually, we've lost about 50K of contract work because it's been put on pause because our clients, their clients, are being affected. So it's coming down the pipeline." And she's like, "Oh, but I thought because you were like one of these online people." She doesn't quite know what I do. She's like, "Because you're one of these online people, you must be okay." And I said, "No, but you know what? I sent an email around all my clients and just went, look, let's talk about this. Get your head out of panic mode. Again, head out of the ass. They know I tend to talk straight. Where are we at? Why are we thinking about putting things on pause when actually we can work on compound action?" And again, nobody really talks about this. I talk about money and compounds and things a lot. And compound action, taking that action every single day, even if it is just to put another layer in. If you're building something, or you're building a tool, putting a wireframe in, if you are launching something, write the damn email. Even if you only write one because your head is too fizzing with everything else, take little compound action so you are getting somewhere. I sent this out as an email to my lot, and I got a load of contracts jumped straight back in because people went, "Oh yeah, we could beat the competition. We could use this as a complete game leveler."
Yes, well, you've got time. You've got time. Your competition is sleeping. They are resting. All the other dentists out there, they're chilling, dog.
Yeah, they have no idea how to live online because they've never had to. They don't know what they're doing. They're all kind of, "Oh, my head is fizzing. What the hell do I do now?" Well, actually, let's get our head out of our ass, put our game face back on and go, okay, we can compound action this. We can move forward. And I was trying to explain this to my brother. My brother is in the real world with a physical business. He's a builder. And he said to me, "Well, how do I do it?" You know, he's saying, "I can't physically go into someone's house because of lockdown." And I said to him, "Go back through your client list." And I say this to everybody, go back through your client list, look for possibilities. So with my brother, I said, look, somebody in your client list will have an empty property that they are doing up because a lot of people will be renting properties out. Why don't you say to them, look, fast action deal to get you to take action right now. You can save X amount, or I will give you this extra bonus to take action now so I can come and I will work in the empty property and have it ready for you. And he's like, "But I don't know anybody." And we got talking about his clients. I said, look, get the shutter kind of lifted up, start thinking about what you were doing, because there is always somebody, every entrepreneur knows this, there's always somebody in your pipeline or in your past client list or in your network you can work with. It is just getting your head into the right space and looking at what the possibilities are. And sure enough with him, he went, "Oh yeah, all the students," because he does a lot of work in the student city. And he's like, "All the students have gone home because the university's shut. I can go and work in this lady's house and she rents loads of student accom. I could get a load of work." Great, go do it. Go make the offer. You know, there's always something, whether you are a physical business, whether you're an online business, that you can do to move the situation forward. But the problem is that, like I say, if I could just kind of like get a hammer and just like drill it into everyone's heads, you've got to keep moving something forward with the business. And if you can just get your head out of panic mode enough just to take one tiny step, tomorrow that will become 2 tiny steps, and it will get it so you're thinking clearly and you can move forwards with the business. If you get stuck, then reach out. There's always people around to support. So I think that's a really big thing as well, is our community. I don't know about you guys, but I've certainly found that even my entrepreneurial community, people who are in my niche, people who are outside of it, everyone is working so hard to support each other, right?
Yeah. It's like the perfect time. It's this perfect storm of need. There's a lot of need out there. You know, hospitals have completely different needs than MLMs, which aren't going to be able to do a whole lot right now. And so when we really examine the way that our business is and that business is functioning now and the changes that have happened overnight, you're forced to do these things like, hey, I'm a builder. Let's re-examine the situation for this, my clients, to see if I can get in somewhere empty. But then further with that, that client who you want to do work for, who now is losing income, maybe they can't, give you the entire payment. So then you explore another way to transition and pivot, and you offer payment plans for your clients, and so it's really giving you an opportunity to critically examine what it is with your business, to find a way to help people and find a way to think harder, to get better results and to do something different than you have been doing. You can't be comfortable because there is no comfort right now.
Precisely. There's never any comfort for an entrepreneur. And if you're somebody that sits there and thinks, oh, I'm comfy, then seriously, your house is burning down around you and you just haven't actually opened your eyes to look. That's the reality. And I think, moving on from that point there is so much that we can be doing, and our communities are so open. And if you can't, like with an MLM, if you can't physically do what you're doing, although I know people like our postal services are still shipping, so you can do certain things, but if you really think you can't do anything and you're sitting going, he's talking bull, I can't do a thing, go build a freaking relationship with somebody. Go get to know them, go talk to them. Because visibility, relationships, all of that is important. Compound action. Even if you just talk to somebody once a day, invite them for a virtual beer.
And you get a beer and you get to meet somebody. It's the best thing possible.
Absolutely.
I can't think of a better solution.
I mean, one of the things that I do a lot of, and Lee knows I've got a bit of a thing about Mike Michalowicz's books. And we're actually named after kind of a flash moment, a light bulb moment that happened when I was reading one of Mike's books years ago. But he has a great one called Profit First. And when we come out of the winter that we're in now with the whole business structure, go read it. The entire premise, just to give you like a quick spoiler alert, is if you've got you get a brand new toothpaste and you're going to put it on your toothbrush, and you guys must do this, right? You kind of have a new tube, so you put the really long strip on, and you're like, satisfying. And then when you get to the end of it, you're kind of just eking out that last little blob. And it's the same thing with your money. If you start to kind of take profit first action and break things down and put money into lots of different pots so you don't feel rich straight away, and every time you look at your bank, you actually are rich because your money is squirreled away in all these different places. But you have the ability and the reserves to move forward because you're not going, oh, I can afford that course with that fake FOMO that I've just seen. I can afford that fake thing, because you suddenly go, I don't have that as liquid money because it's in my reserves. So for anybody who's watching who is in that position now, while it won't help now, definitely go read Profit First as a book, because that will help you long-term prepare for kind of the next time we have a winter.
And even right now, one thing that you can do is, and this is kind of something that I do in every day when examining if I should or shouldn't buy something, if the thing that you are going to purchase is all the money that you have left in your account, no matter how much you do or don't have, if all you could do was buy this one thing, would you do it? Would it be beneficial to your business? Would it move it forward? Would it pay off? Is it worth it to you? And if you take that approach, you're not going to spend that money that you don't need. If you truly believe that this course is the thing for you and that's going to help you grow and flourish and become everything you've ever wanted to be, then go by all means do it. But if you don't think so, then get out of there, run away, go somewhere else. There are other opportunities.
See, that's why I created the check-in plan, because I'm one of those who I will see things and sometimes I'll park them and sometimes I'll be like, oh, this doesn't quite pass the acid test, but I'm not sure. And that's why I created that resource, so that I could go down and ask myself those questions. And the golden rule is you have to have 4 yeses before you can actually take action. And another thing just for people, if you are looking at buying things for your business, if you are looking particularly, like say, I work with the coaching industry, this is kind of my online knowledge brokers are kind of my jam. And if they are offering things and they're not prepared to put their money where their mouth is, and I always do it. If they're not prepared to put their money where their mouth is and give you your money back, the difference, if you don't, you don't make it, if they aren't prepared to do that, then really look at whether it's going to be a stand-up course for you. Because courses sound fantastic when they're being sold. It's when you get into them afterwards and then you go, oh, that's not really working for me. And chances are, somebody can be great at marketing, but they may not be great at course creation. and actually how you execute that learning from a distance. So do look at things like, if you are looking at buying something because you do think it will change your life right now, then look at, does it have that kind of guarantee level? For me, what I say is, I'm personally willing to get the money out of my back pocket and I'll pay you the difference if you do not meet the minimum mission accomplished goal. And the reason I say that is because if people are doing the work, we know they're going to get way beyond it. But, you know, everyone needs that safety net. Everyone needs that guarantee of, look, I'm willing to put my own money where my mouth is. Look for that type of thing, because at this time of kind of business and in the season we're in, and like I say, that whole winter is coming, you definitely need to make sure that you're aware of that. And you're looking at, not just does it pass that acid test, like Alex just said, but if it fails when you get it home and you get it out of the box, what coverage do you have as well? Because you don't want to end up spending your last dime on something that is really well marketed to then get home and kind of look at it and go, oh shit, because it doesn't work, right? I mean, how many times have you guys done that?
Yeah, what you want to rant, don't you? Is that what this is?
So tell us, Lyndsey, about courses then.
Yeah.
You definitely got a rant coming. How do you look at them? How do you know if they're valuable? How do you know if you should even spend your time on it? I mean, me personally, I've never bought a course because I've never thought that it was actually valuable enough versus something that I could just learn myself on the internet. So how would you convince somebody like me to buy a course or to really look at it critically in a way that's going to tell me if there's going to be value out of it?
Okay, so first of all, you are very much like me, okay? I take a DIY approach to many things because I'm one of those like closet tech geeks. So that is my jam too. Now, in terms of when I look at a course, I look at people's value ladders. So everybody who is actually any good and actually has their shit together will have a ladder that they're taking you up in terms of how much the investment is to get started. And then they guide you through that product. If somebody is jumping in and saying, I only offer 5K and my course is 5K, there's nothing outside of that. And you're kind of going, sounds good, but that 5K is a real risk. Then I would be nervous. That's where I get a little bit uncomfortable, because if they haven't got a value ladder that you can test first, then what is the point? Because you could end up investing at that 5K level and it might be fantastic. But you've got to remember that most people are very good at marketing or they're very good at teaching. You usually don't get both. So it's looking at how do you find that getting both is more like a unicorn. And I've seen people where their product is basically just really badly recorded videos that they sell at that price. And you're kind of like, shit. And I've said to some very big names who, again, part of the reason why people tend to put me under NDA because they don't like the fact that I am brutally honest. And I've said to people, how are you charging this for that course? I wouldn't pay it because it's just not worth it. You've got to look at their value ladder and look at what else have they put out. For example, if they've written a book, get the book first before you buy anything. Do not fall for that. The doors are closing, because the doors are never closed for long. They either have a down sell that they're going to sell you, or the doors are going to reopen in a few months or a year. Go get the book. Most people, if they've got, say, like a 5K offer and no value ladder below it, they will have always put out a book. It seems to be like the fashion at the moment.
Is it a free ebook, or is it there are only 20 copies left of this digital ebook that I'm going to give you?
Only 20
I've seen quite a few of these things recently where they're like, they're like $9 on Amazon, and it's like, oh, but I can give you the free thing. It's you pay shipping. And I've seen a lot of it. It seems to be that people who are at that level where they're putting out those higher ticket offers because some coach, and it drives me nuts. I promise I won't get on my soapbox about it.
Please do.
Please do. That's what this is for.
Lord.
Well, we know. We know. I will get in so much trouble. I'm not going to name them. We know there are certain coaches out there who are selling high ticket items who haven't got the bloody training, or they're regurgitating the same shit they learned from Tony Robbins because they're wannabes. And the problem is they're telling other people, oh, don't even get me started on Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to
talk
go
about
there.
Gurus. You mean to tell me that the gurus don't know everything? There's no way.
They really freaking don't.
Yeah.
This is again, this is why I get put under NDA a lot, because we power a lot of the good shit on the internet. My team powers. Okay, that's what we do. The difference is, and we've got one client who's, again, their entire brand is built around the fact that they know what they're doing and they've got their shit together. They brought us in 6 years ago. They didn't have anything going on. They were plummeting money. The phrase, "it's cost 7 figures to do a 7-figure launch," was actually used in a proper conversation. And we came in and I went, oh shit. And we rebuilt everything and repowered it. And hey, now they're actually making the money they've been telling everyone they've been making for years. It's great. But the point is, there are people out there who are telling people who can't necessarily pass the information off, or they're not that interested in their product because they're more interested in profit. Charge a high ticket price and people will pay for it. And you don't need to worry too much about the product. Oh my God, they are everywhere. And that's why I'm saying, look for the value ladder.
Because people like you are buying their course. Stop doing it. Listen to what she's saying. Very important. I just pointed wrong. My bad.
Well, it's yeah.
People pay people like us a lot of money to get in front of everyone who's buying those courses. Yeah. You know, that's literally our purpose. So
yeah.
I mean, we joke about Russell Brunson there, but Russell has a value ladder, and you can see his shit. And yes, you pay your kind of shipping. You can see it. It's good, actually. Mm-hmm. You know, you can see that. And if he was doing a 5 and 10K, there was a real offer that was coming out to everybody instead of people that have just risen through his value ladder, then people would buy into that because there's actually some good structure behind it. But what I'm saying is, don't be fooled into buying people's courses where they're charging 5K and you don't know what that you're getting into. Look at the value ladder. If they've got a lead magnet and you don't come away from it going, I can use that, or there's some form of brainwave in it, then don't bloody buy. Don't spend money with them because you don't know what you're getting. I'm a big fan, and you know, I've been working last year with Marissa Murgatroyd, and I love what she's done with the whole creating an experience. And I officially can talk about that because I've got the trademark because I worked with her. Around the fact that it's not an info product, it's about the experience, it's about that pattern disrupt, it's about how you teach. So yeah. I sell products, I sell courses. We've got a membership, we've got a premium one, and it's, you know, $297 or $497. $497 is a done with you service. It is premium if you're working with us for 10 months. The difference is that I don't expect you to come through unless you've done our Cash Boosters challenge. So we know, both of us, are you going to put the work in? Are you going to put the effort in to make this happen? Because there's no point coming into that higher ticket without it. And the difference is, I'm a fully qualified teacher. I went and did 3 lots of degrees. I went and got those qualifications. And there are people online who've got really crazy mad shit skills, but they don't know how to teach it. And that's the thing when you're looking at courses. If you are down to your last 5K, find people who talk sense and who don't sugarcoat it. Okay? Because if you don't,
people who want to be involved, not the people who are just going to tell you things.
Yeah, the people who are going to show up. So for us, like I say, we have that 297 over to 497. That's quite a lot of money to people who are, you know, sub 250K a year. But I show up 3 times a week on calls. I get on one-to-ones. If I see somebody struggling and I'm going, I'm not going to be the person who sits there and goes, oh, we better just leave that because I don't want to be involved with these guys because it's too much work. If you see somebody who's taking that attitude, then that's not good because you're not going to get the support that you need to actually follow through, because everybody learns at different rates. And when you work with a teacher and somebody who's got that background, they understand the fact that, hang on a minute, there might be the star in the class, you know, like Alex doing all the tech wares, but there might be that guy lagging at the back who's kind of like, and you need to give them some extra help, or you need to give them different materials. Look at, if you were looking at how do I fix a situation right now that I'm in, how do I get money flowing, and you genuinely think you need support, look at who you're buying from, look at that relationship, and look at
your bank account.
Look at your bank account. Absolutely.
See where it all went.
Yeah. Make sure that you're holding things to account, and make sure that the people that you're working with, for me, one of the big acid tests is, will they talk honestly? I'm very wary that sometimes I swear quite a bit. And my mum tells me off a lot when she sees my live streams because she watches them. And, you know, I'm very aware of that, but I tend to not sugarcoat it. And years ago, I used to be very British, and I'd be like, okay, you know, let's not tell it as it quite is. Let's, you know, smooth it out a little. And then I worked with lots of guys in software and tech for years, and I was like, right, okay, sometimes we need to get the hammer, like the big giant club, like the Flintstones, and go, right, come on, let's drill this into you and bash it into you. And sometimes you've just got to be brutally honest. And that's what you need to look for when you're looking at investments. So if I was trying to get you to buy something, Alex, I'd be like, okay, first thing I would do with you is I wouldn't actually take you on as a client unless I'd done an assessment on a call with you to find out what shit you don't know. Because actually, why would I want to sell you into something when you might know half of it? And again, that's a big strategy. Have you seen people doing that where they kind of sell stuff that they know you already know half of, but they're still going to charge you 5K because that's what they do? And you're like, really? No, let's just assess who we've got coming in here, not just be like grabbing for the money because it's there. Right?
Yeah, you can clearly see intentions by the way people interact. And it sounds like one of the major things that you're hitting on is the level of involvement that the person who actually does the course has with the students, with the pupils. If it's somebody who's serious about really teaching you, working with you, about you and learning and teaching what they do, teachers have a heart to serve others in their way of learning and knowledge and the pursuit of that knowledge. So if that course doesn't even have anywhere within there that there's going to be interaction with a teacher and you're just watching the same pre-recorded webinar as the last 30 people before you, you're not really getting any value of it. Yeah. And then just seeing how direct that person is and how real that person is going to be about things, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. That's not how things work. If somebody tells you that you're going to make 40K working from home in a month, where did you all go, first of all? But if somebody tells you that, you know, it's not because they really want to teach you how to do it. It's because they want your $197 so they can tell the next person how to make that same money with the same copy and paste message. There's a lot of effort that goes into making real things, and you can discern the real from fake real quick by just looking at that.
Well, there's two sides to it. Cool. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, there's two sides of it. There are so many people out there looking for easy buttons. There were before, and there damn definitely are now. You know, desperation breeds that sort of desperation breeds gullibility, and that's just how it is, and that's how you get so many people buying these courses. Is because of the promises that they're making. There are plenty of entrepreneurs out there online who aren't concerned about what happens after the sale. And that's just what drives me absolutely bonkers. So, like, you know, I hope you didn't delete the soapbox ticker, because I made us go on one here in a minute.
Ticker? I left my mouse cursor on it. I got you guys.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of tired today. Do I want to?
Go on.
Rant.
Well, you know that in everything that I teach, I always teach to write messaging not just to get the sale, but to keep the relationship. And it's so freaking important. And I'm seeing this more and more as this COVID thing goes on, and I see people coming into my inbox and saying, you know, how can I become a copywriter? How can I do this? How can I do that? And there are some that come in and say, they don't say, hey, I want to learn how to do this. They say, can you give me the template? Can you show me the magic button? Can you lead me to a pool of buyers who are just itching to stuff their money down my shorts, even though I don't have a friggin' shred of experience or any clue what the frick I'm doing?
Yeah.
No target
Can
audience.
you show me that? Can you take me to the Holy Grail? I don't want to learn anything. I don't want to put in any effort. I don't want to go outside my comfort zone. I want somebody to spoon feed me. And damn it, you are looking at the wrong guy if that's what you want. Yeah. As I usually just
good is going to do that.
Smack him in the fucking face and send him right back out the door. Beat it.
Yeah, beat it. Seriously. Get out of here. You're going to get hit with the broom. I promise.
But we have people expecting that because we have other people promising it and not delivering. And we get into this pattern of thinking, okay, well, the next fix, you know, the next course will be it. Oh, with this next one, I haven't heard this promise before, so this has got to be the one. And before you know it, you've spent $20,000 on courses that have taught you absolutely nothing. You know, part of it is, and we've talked, Lyndsey, too, is about getting people to actually consume the content, because there are a great many people who could actually benefit from it if they just do the work, but they can't stay engaged. So it's our job as entrepreneurs and teachers and educators to keep them engaged.
Yeah. And part of that is, are you willing as the educator to put your money where your mouth is and actually make sure that the person signing in and signing into your programs and courses is going to do the work? Are you going to make sure that you've done everything at your end to do that? Because if you're willing to put your money where your mouth is, then you damn are. I always call it, like my proprietary system, I call it is kind of the twin engine effect, because you've got your lead engine, and then you've got this big thing over here that everyone forgets, and it's the product engine, and it is designed to get people referring other people in, because you are so damn good. The experience isn't the experience in the lead engine. That's just like, that's nothing. That's like, I've just learned to bake a cake today, have my first attempt, versus when somebody comes into the experience and comes into the product, it should be like, and this is my like 3-tier giant cake. It's fantastic. And it should be that people get that level of experience, because that is the most important bit, is after they've put their money into something, after you've invested, it should feel like, oh my gosh, it's Christmas. Because that's the level that you should be working at. If a course is good, you should feel that straight away. If you are being put on a timer and kind of just, being trotted through it, and there's no emotion, there's no relationship, there's no connection, there's nothing that makes you go, wow, this is cool, then, what the hell? Why would you want to invest in it? It really bugs me when there's nothing like the wow factor after it. Even if it's just something simple. Like I had one last year, and I actually reached out to the person and went, you have got somebody who is going to have a relationship with you for life now, because that piece of marketing was so shit hot, and it was after the sale, and it was purely, they'd written a letter to me in the future, and it was very well messaged, it was very well written, and I went, okay, I like where you've come from, because that experience is just so random. The way that they had structured the letter, the way it was, just the whole delivery mechanism of it was perfect. And I kind of went, wow, you put that at the point where most people forget. They've kind of like, oh, I've got your money, I'm going to run away now. Whereas you've just dialed in the relationship 100%. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And that's what you need to look for. Yeah.
And you can tell, you can really tell when people love what they do. You can tell when love has been put in to things that have been created. You can tell passion. That's the difference. And that's, just something that I've learned from working a lot of developers and designers and growing my own team, is that there's a huge difference between the guys that I trust and that I know are passionate about what they do, and the guys who don't really get a whole lot, just because you can tell if something's not made with love. And if you don't feel that, and you don't have that experience, and you don't want more after the fact, it's not going to look good, man. Not going to look good.
Yeah. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And you know what? We've got some great insights here, and we're also almost out of time. Can you believe it? We've been going on, we're almost at the hour here.
We're at 57 minutes and 44 seconds.
We are. So I'm thinking at this point, if we can switch this over to final thoughts, then maybe we can wrap this, get everybody out of here, and but we can pick up this discussion again here, maybe some other live stream.
Don't even worry. I already had the ticker ready for you there, Lee. Everybody's
on top of it. Yeah.
It is time for final thoughts, where we get 45 seconds, a minute and a half, or however long we want to talk about what's on our mind. We'll start with our guest, the one and only Lyndsey.
Oh, final thoughts. Oh my gosh, I've got so many. Stay passionate and focus on moving yourself forward, no matter what it is, and work on compound action. And if you need anything, hit me up and I will give you the unsugar-coated version of how to get yourself fixed. Okay?
That was short, sweet, to the point, direct, incredible. I'll follow that up and let Lee take the anchor, if that's okay.
Right on. That's what I mean.
I'll be short, sweet, and distinct as well. Love what you do. That is all you have to do. Love what you do, you'll be fine. If you don't love it, find something that you do. Keep doing things until you do.
Awesome.
I thought you were telling me to go, so sorry about that. Is it? All right.
We're on you, Lee. Come on.
Well, I know. All right, guys. It's another wonderful show, guys. be creative. This is the time to pull creativity out of the hat. So like, make sure that you're taking care of that creative space. I found myself running on empty with some of this, and it really just took some time to step back out of it and realize, what the heck do I really want out of this? What can I take out of this change to better shape how my business serves me, serves my family, and serves the people who are in my audience who have been following me and supporting me for months, sometimes years. This is a time of reflection, a time to recalibrate, rethink things. And, I'm convinced that the people who have the fortitude to get through this are going to come out stronger and more successful on the other end. So I'm looking forward to walking that journey with you.
Well said, Lee.
Lee, before we go, quickly, what was the Black Ops pigeon about? Because everyone's going to be wondering the same thing I am. What was the Black Ops pigeon?
Oh, well, it's this is an ongoing thing. We're Carla and I are convinced that pigeons are a spawns of the devil.
Okay.
So we've encountered them in Paris, we've encountered them in Vegas, and they're just sketch. I don't know. But so we've been catching wind. We heard on Fremont Street from a hobo that Black Ops pigeons are actually watching us now, and not everybody, just us. So it's just we've really been trying to keep an eye out for him, and I really did just catch just a glimpse of a Black Ops pigeon, and he spotted me and took off. So I just want to share with you that the Black Ops pigeons really do exist. So here we go. Did you see that look? That was not the look of a normal pigeon.
And that was
That's
not
why
what I
we're
was
in quarantine.
expecting.
The government
I was
has to change
expecting
their
that to be
batteries.
the Will Smith.
Oh.
Didn't Will Smith just be like a pigeon in a movie where he gets turned into a pigeon and he's like a spy? I swear that I've seen that, and that's not quarantine brain doing fuzzy stuff. Oh my gosh, that was not Will Smith.
Will Smith
is a pigeon.
I've never seen that before.
If that's not a great way to close out a live stream, I don't know what is. Well, there you have it, uncovered on Road to BowtieUP Live. Will Smith is a pigeon. There's nothing more you can say after that. So, Lyndsey,
we started with John Bon Jovi's ass, and we've ended with Will Smith as a pigeon. We're doing well.
Wow.
We've come
what a
full
circle. We are incredible.
Well, Lyndsey, thank you so much. You've been a delight to have on the show. Alex, thank you so much as always for everything you bring to the table. Guys, we will be back tomorrow with at 4:20 p.m. Eastern again with another Road to BowtieUP live stream, and our guest tomorrow is my friend Tom Elmer. I'm looking forward to talking to him. He's such a great guy, and he'll be joining us at 4:20 as well. So I did promise that I would mention I do have a workshop on Friday. We're out of time, so I'm not going to go into the details, but send me a PM and I will give you the details and give you a chance to register before I actually open it up online. So if you do that today, I'll make sure that you get in before we get all the spots taken up.
There we go.
Okay.